few years back, Hasbro unveiled the Engine of Vengeance HasLab, and this thing was received by fans about as well as I'm received by the owner of the Chinese restaurant as soon as I walk in the door.
Welcome to Shitty Walk. Can I take an order, please?
So not good. This was a classic example of right product, wrong price. This was proven when Ramen Toys quickly brought out the Ramen Racer as a lower priced alternative, but that has since sold out pretty much everywhere. But action figure muscle car fans were deceived, for another one was made. In the land of California, in the fires of Los Angeles, the twisted creators at Odd Frog Entertainment forged in secret another car, and into that they poured their creativity, their heart, their soul, and their will to dominate the toy aisle. One car to rule them all. Okay, that was probably a little over dramatic, but let's talk about the Bandito. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt, usually called Big Nerdy. Together, we are the Nerd World Order, and this is Nerdzoic. A few weeks back, I was contacted by the fellas over at Odd Frog Entertainment about selling their car, the Bandito. Not a real car, it's an action figure car. I said, you guys got a prototype? They said, yeah. And I said, I'll do you one better. Send me the prototype for a bit, I'll play with it, and I'll make a video about it. And here we are. They sent me the prototype, and again, it's a prototype, so it's got like the 3D print lines on it. It's very delicate, the glass isn't clear, but it looks pretty freaking cool. But even at this stage, I see a really awesome project. Let me talk about it.
Let me talk to you.
That's my best LA night. So this muscle car was inspired by the 67 Chevelle. It's got 75 individual parts, many of which are interchangeable with mod kits they already have planned. This thing can be taken completely apart, making the customization options nearly limitless. And when I say completely taken apart, I mean all 75 plus pieces. It's actually 76, whatever. The headlights light up, the tail lights light up, and there is a highly detailed dashboard that also lights up.
It's a lot of lights, Dad.
The hood opens, it's got a cool looking engine block inside, below that's where the batteries go. And then of course it's got a cool trunk, which is huge. It's lined with fabric, and I'm pretty sure they went to the back of my car, cut out that fabric and put it in here because it's like that same exact fabric. The car is matte black, allowing for custom paint apps, so you don't have to keep it that matte black. You want to go green, you want to go yellow, knock yourself out. There will probably be more colors to come down the line, at least that was my suggestion to them, like, hey, do exclusive colors to each store, like give Big Bad a red car, give Nerdzoic a blue car, give Toy Snowman a car covered in chicken, specifically Chick-fil-A, although Popeyes will also do. Hey, from now on, we're gonna call Toy Snowman the Chicken Man. Isn't that what they called Gus on Breaking Bad? Yes, and I don't care, he is also the Chicken Man. There's also realistic chrome / black rims, and they do turn, and there's even like the little detail of the calipers on there, and I'll be honest, I noticed it, but not being a car guy, I didn't know what the hell they were. I had to ask. I'm like, is this like a weight that we see on cars or what? But yeah, even that was included. Plus, if you turn it upside down, even the undercarriage is pretty detailed. The driver and passenger seat are both removable and magnetic, allowing for a range of positions and ease of posability. You can even go like back and forth just like a real car. The windows do not look great here, but that is because this is a prototype. I am told that once this thing is done, the windows are to be crystal clear. Odd Frog Entertainment did all the designing here and prototyping, but they're going to be partnering with Gentle Giant, who's going to do all the manufacturing of this. In terms of size, this thing is 1/12 scale. To be more specific, it's going to be 18.5 inches long, 6.5 inches wide, and 5.5 inches tall. Some comparison shots for you. Here's how it compares to McFarlane's '89 Batmobile. One more, here's how it compares to McFarlane's Tumbler, although McFarlane's Tumbler does have Lucius driving, so that's probably a plus for that. You're probably asking yourself, how is this different from the Ramen Racer? And I actually asked that myself. But ironically, this was in development before the Ramen Racer was. However, Ramen was able to get it to market first. That said, the Ramen Racer sold out everywhere. And if you wanted it, this is your chance to get something similar and possibly better. There are other things that makes the Bandito different than the Ramen Racer. Like for instance, the Bandito is more geared towards customizers. It's not finished, meaning that you can go in there and really make it your own, and it can be taken apart and reassembled. Like, to me, that is mind-boggling. That's the coolest thing. I hope that as we get through the prototyping and the tooling, that doesn't change, because it just really brings a total different feel to this product versus anything else on the market now or before it. I keep mentioning Odd Frog Entertainment, and let me introduce them to you. First off, we have Kelly Greenwood.
I'm the founder and CEO of Odd Frog Entertainment. The inspiration for the Bandito really came out of toy photography and customizers. We really wanted to gear it towards all the customization we were watching and seeing on Instagram.
Kelly's not alone. We also got doing it like Scott Hall.
My name is 𝐁𝐀𝐍𝐿𝐒. I am co-founder and president of 𝐁𝐈𝐍𝐻𝑒 Entertainment, and I guess you would say brand director of the 112th Street Chop Shop, which is our first brand of toys, which is a 112 scale, customizable, collectible line of action vehicles, a term we coined, based on action figures.
I spent a lot of hours on the phone talking with both Kelly and Eddie, and I do think a lot of them. They are very smart guys. They are really, really dedicated to their craft, and I really want to see them succeed in this and get this to market because they have a lot of other things planned to go along with this line. First off would be expansions, and based on what I already told you about the customization ability of this thing, the possibilities are literally endless. They do have a couple things already planned out though. So here is the Badlands, which is a post-apocalyptic pack with mounted top and rear weapons and a crash guard on it. Here's one I like, the Lowrider expansion. This thing has an alternate hood, rims, engine block, front grille, and even more. Personally, this is the type of setup I'd have in my collection with Eddie Guerrero and China in the front seat. I can see it now. It's beautiful. The timeline laid out for this, they should come about 30 to 60 days after the car ships. So we're not going to have a ton of time waiting on them.
The target audience for the Bandito is, guys that grew up with He-Man, G.I. Joe, and specifically toy photographers and toy customizers.
I really do think that the tinkering aspect of this car is what sets it apart from the competition, and I think that the Chop Shop moniker is perfect for it, though I will say it makes me think of a certain character from The Sopranos, whose name I probably can't say on this show. We'll call him Big Kitty. Anyway, I can see this being something that a lot of third-party sellers get involved in making different parts for. It really is a customizer sandbox type of product. I just got a 3D printer myself, so I think that it will be really fun printing different accessories and upgrades for this. No need to wait for the upgrades to come out. You can just make your own. Well, someone can, and I can print them. This is going to make for a really cool set piece for toy photographers, and I think that the different parts and components allow for some serious creative storytelling and composition. Another thing that's probably not going to be talked about much, but the matte black as opposed to like a glossy finish is going to be really easy to light. So for amateur photographers, this is something that's going to be a lot easier to work with. If you can't tell, I'm excited by this. I think it's a cool project, and I love seeing new companies and creators swing for the fences in this space, and I really want to see them succeed. For the intended audience of toy photographers, customizers, and 1/12 scale collectors, I do think this is a fantastic product, especially if you were on the fence with the Ramen Racer and then ended up missing out on it. For the more display-focused collectors like me, this is probably less of a must-have until there is a specific display need in mind. For example, Eddie Guerrero and his Lowrider. They do plan on having more vehicles in this line. One of them in production is a van. Yeah, that's a Punisher van. Like, there's no other way to say it. You trick this thing out with a bunch of weapons in the back, and it is going to be pretty cool looking. That is something I would like to have on display. With the company's focus on the whole Chop Shop vehicle angle, I can see some really cool vehicles coming down the long term. Like, I think it's going to be a really cool line, and they have other things planned. It's not just vehicles.
We have various things lined up that will fall under the 112th Street Chop Shop line. We have more vehicles to come. We have kits that completely alter the style of the car. It's more than just a car line. It's going to include characters, and it's going to include all sorts of things, and we're just excited to show you what we have, down the pipeline.
Personally, I love to see like an old school New York taxi or police car, maybe with working sirens, maybe a bus, so you could bring back the beginning of Dark Knight where the Joker's robbing the bank and he drives the bus like back first into the bank. That'd be a pretty cool scene to set up. The $185 price point might seem a bit steep, but I gotta be honest with you, considering that the print run is going to be around 1,500 pieces, that's a really, really good price. They priced this in a way that they're going to have a much lower profit margin just so that they could get it into people's hands and get their company rolling, and I have a ton of respect for that. I also have a lot of respect for the way they are bringing this thing to life because it's got a very unique business model, to say the least. Think of it like a Kickstarter without a deadline and not on Kickstarter. So essentially, here's what they're doing. They're selling pre-order spots with no money up front, so they're not asking for people's money until this thing is greenlit for production. It'll get greenlit at 1,500 units. They've sold, I think, somewhere around 350 on their website. Now that I'm involved, I'm hoping we can push that number up. Surprise, surprise, we are also going to be offering it at the Nerdzoic toy store. We're going to be selling it for $199, so we're going to be $14 higher than 𝐁𝐈𝐍𝐻, but ours include shipping, so it's $199 shipped. They're going to also include shipping, so it's basically the same. The reason I'm doing this is because we're going to take $1 up front because my system insists that I take something up front, and that's the minimum. Once 1,500 units are reached, you will get charged for the remainder of the $199, so $198. Obviously, the sooner you pre-order, the sooner this thing can get rolling, and since it's free to $1 to sign up, go do it right now. Here's the cool news. The timeline on this from when it funds is 155 days to manufacturer, then the time of the ocean freight, which can be between 2 to 4 weeks depending on the time of year. I do want to say that for Nerdzoic, we are only offering this right now in the US. If you guys in Canada want it, you're gonna have to go bug the chicken man and tell him that you want him to carry this. Snowman, if you didn't know. There's also a link down to 𝐷𝐷𝐼𝐓𝐻 in the description if you'd rather purchase it from them. Either way, go get that pre-order in. It's only going to be $1 max today. Let's do it. And remember, you gotta get old. You don't have to grow up. Just be cool and stay nerdy. Later.